What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Pub Trivia BettorCast, brought to you by Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, Joey Wright, and I must ask you a question, Tim Wright. What's up, boys?
Beautiful Monday.
Not a whole lot. Just having a good afternoon after just falling flat on my face on Fortune earlier today.
Have you guys been reading up on your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rule book in preparation for tonight's trivia?
Yes, and I've been rolling my 20-sided die. Is that correct?
Nailed it.
Yes. All right.
There are other sided, but that is in fact one of the kinds of dice that you use in Dungeons and Dragons. We got some people in the chat ready for today's game. If you've never joined us before, thank you so much for coming in. This is Fantasy Football Pub Trivia on BettorCast. And you guys are the contestants in today's game. If you join us for our game show at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we're always playing games. This is your time to shine. Joey and Tim are going to be competing alongside you today. I prepared the game. Let's see if you guys can take them down. We've got 30 trivia questions for you. They're going to be in 3 sets of 10. First 10 are going to be about football or fantasy. The next 10 are going to be Dungeons and Dragons related. Though, don't worry if you're an NFL fan. Most of them are going to be crossover with NFL questions. And then that last set of 10 is going to be more NFL or fantasy related questions. We'll go through 30 questions. You're going to get points if you get it right. You're going to lose points if you get it wrong. And whoever has the most points at the end of our game tonight is our champion. And we have our reigning champion in the chat with us. Mr. Ladarius Brown says, good evening, all. What's up, Ladarius? Ladarius won last week, and I believe the week before as well.
Ladarius, I believe, didn't I make both of those packs there? Like, listen, Ladarius, that ain't happening tonight. I am here to take you down. I am going to win the Battle of Florida. You're going down tonight, Ladarius.
We got Scampers in here saying, good evening, FYF. Good evening, Scampers. Welcome in. Dame in the chat wants to know, ever heard your intro music on 2x speed? I have on accident where my computer glitched and all of a sudden it tried to catch up really quick. We got Victor in the chat said, yes, bro, Chachos just had the best steak burrito with some horchata. Now ready for pub trivia. What a freaking night. Oh my, burritos, horchata, and some pub trivia.
I had a steak burrito for dinner tonight too.
Also, we got Jay in the chat accidentally on the company account saying my tag team partner and pub trivia champ, Ladarius Brown, and Dave in here joining us. Well, guys, we're going to get started here ever so shortly. But if you have not joined us here before, you need to download that Better Sports Network app. That's where you're going to play along. All of the questions will show up in the app. You might have to click the little question mark to get them to pop up, and then you'll play along in there. It'll keep track of your points, and we'll let you know who's in the lead. I see we got Joey's mom in here as well.
Come up.
Good evening, Joey's mom. Welcome in, just in time for some pub trivia. All right. If we're ready, I think we should go ahead and get started with that first question. Whenever that gets up there, we will go ahead and read it to you. Tim, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I haven't.
Well, good news. This is a football question. Happy birthday, Sam. In his 5 seasons in the NFL, Sam Darnold has thrown 55 interceptions. Has he thrown more or less touchdowns? So is the correct answer more than 55 touchdowns or less than 55 touchdowns? And today is Sam Darnold's birthday. So happy birthday, Sam Darnold.
It's my mom's birthday, too.
Happy birthday, Tim's mom. I should text Sally.
She'd love that.
Send me your phone number.
Okay.
So it's Tabitha, Sally, Kathy, Joe.
And Mary Jo.
Mary Jo.
There we go. We got the collection of moms. You guys got 3 seconds left to get your answers in.
I have faith.
The correct answer is more than 55 touchdowns. No. Sam Darnold has thrown 61 touchdowns. You really think I'm going to do him dirty on his birthday like that on the first question of the game?
Honestly, I deserve that for all the horrible things I said about him.
I've said some mean things. I think I called him exclusively Sam Darnett for like 2 years. Never said his name without saying that. Also, we got Jay in the chat with the whoops and Victor Downey saying, happy birthday, Tim's mom. We got a double happy birthday. All right, well, here's your next question. Which former Dallas, New York, Chicago, New England, and Green Bay NFL player has the Twitter handle Martysaurus Rex? Is it Martavis Bryant, Martellus Bennett, Marty Schottenheimer, or Zach Martin? Get your answers in.
I feel like I've seen this guy on those teams.
Ooh, I like the Twitter handle question.
I had so much fun. I discovered a list of all current and former NFL player Twitter handles. And there's a reason my day got sidetracked a little.
Let's add that to Notion.
It's really fun. Yeah, I will. I will in fact add that into Notion.
That's good for a good 2-3 questions per
We got
show.
Scott Fish in the chat saying, "When is Pub Trivia?"
Yay,
It's right
he's
now.
here.
Download the Better Sports Network app and play along. If you're just joining us, that's where the questions are going to pop up. And the correct answer to this one is Martellus Bennett. If you said Martellus Bennett, you are going to be absolutely correct on that one. He's played for all those teams, and his nickname is Marty, and his Twitter handle, Martysaurus Rex.
Damn, dude. Sometimes you just wander into a perfect Twitter handle, and that's, I mean, you can't ask for much more.
The right Tim, it just works out. It's your name, and you're the right Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is the next question up yet? I do not think so.
I like that Tim and I didn't know each other when our Twitter handles came about, and they're just it's very on brand. It's good.
All right, well, you cute little Twitter handle boys. Here's your next question. According to the FanDuel Sportsbook, 2 players are tied at plus 750 to lead the NFL in rushing yards. Jonathan Taylor and which other running back? Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, or Bijan Robinson?
Oh, I love this. Wow. Oof.
Man,
this is fun, isn't it? This is a fun one to try to think about.
Do it.
Yeah.
I don't care, man.
One of 3, I feel like, would be correct. If one of them is that, I'd be very surprised.
So there's one that you are confident it is not, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you are out of time now. The correct answer to this question is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is the correct answer. Yep. Nick Chubb at plus 750. Derrick Henry is at plus 900. Josh Jacobs next at plus 1100. And Bijan Robinson sitting there at plus 1200. But those are your top 4. Those are your top 4 betting.
Really? Bijan's top 4?
Yep. Very next is Saquon after that at plus 1400, rounding out the top 5. Also, Victor in here said, "Is it just me or does Simon look like Adam B? Adam B, is that you?" It's me, Adam B. When I take his hat off, though, I go back to being Simon. Here's your next question. We got Aaron Rodgers is only 34 passing touchdowns away from replacing this quarterback as number 4 on the all-time passing touchdown leaders list. Talk about deja vu. Is this Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, or Brett Favre? What did you say, Tim?
Did you say cuterback?
I might have said cuterback.
Oh, no, I don't think I got it right.
We got Albert in here saying, "Hello, everyone. What's up, Albert? Welcome, man." And Scott Fish said, "This trivia stuff is fun, but we all truly came to watch Wright get fired on air." Which one? I did let Scott Fish know we were firing one right before the show. Well, the correct answer is Brett Favre.
Yeah, okay.
Brett Favre is the correct answer. The deja vu we're talking about is he's replaced him before as the starting quarterback for the Packers. And Brett Favre is currently number 4. Aaron Rodgers will pass him if he does this feat. I can look up who the other ones are.
It's Brady, Breeze, and Manning, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Breeze is the one I forgot, and I almost said, yeah, okay, I'm good.
Also, Scott Fish said, "What is a cuter back?" Toronto Dave said he did, and I heard cuter back too. I guess I 100% did say cuter back. Well, here's your next question. There are 5 active running backs on the top 100 all-time rushing attempts list. Ezekiel Elliott, Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry, Melvin Gordon, and which player that shared backfields with 2 of the above running backs? Is it Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette, Joe Mixon, or Latavius Murray?
With 2 of the above. Oh, no.
Oh, God, I feel like I'm wrong.
Shared backfields. So not necessarily at the same time, but as they have shared a backfield with 2 of these players.
Could it be that they live right like in front and behind each other, so they share a backyard?
They're both farmers.
That would work as well. Scott Fish in here said, "I believe Jimmy G is a cuter back. I think Derek Carr probably isn't." I think Derek Carr is a cuter back, Scott.
Scott just doesn't like his mysterious eyes, like with the eyeliner and stuff. Scott's not.
See, I specifically like his mysterious eyes.
I know.
All right. Well, is the timer up on this one? Am I good to reveal that answer? I think it is.
I haven't seen it go green yet.
Well, it hasn't given the answer, but that timer's up. The correct answer is D. Latavius Murray.
Yeah.
Latavius Murray. He actually shared a backfield with 2 of those players last year on 2 different teams. Melvin Gordon on the Broncos and then Mark Ingram on the Saints, both in the same season.
I'm in the positive now.
What's your scores, guys?
10.
I'm at 30.
Tim's at 30 and Joey's
Yeah.
at 10.
It
Everyone cheer.
should be a sweep, but I went with my heart on Bijan, and I knew it was going to be Chubb.
Everyone turn or share your scores in the chat. Let us know where you're sitting at. Here's your next question. Which of the following players is the closest to hitting the 10,000 receiving yards milestone? Is it T.Y. Hilton, Jarvis Landry, Devontae Adams, or Brandon Cooks?
Oh man, that's tough. Simon, you made some questions this week.
A good one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Should we reveal the theme for next week at some point during the show?
I'll reveal something for next week.
Whoa. Okay, we can do that too.
Also, Scott Fish said it was the jean jacket photo shoot that turned Simon in favor of Carr. Absolutely. And Damon here said, I'm at 50. Hell yeah, Dame.
Dame.
Well, the correct answer to this question, only needing 188 yards to reach the milestone. But as of right now, it is not certain that he will. Free agent T.Y. Hilton is the correct answer to this question.
That's
Sitting
crazy.
at 9,812 receiving yards. Devontae Adams is the next closest at 9,637, being only 363 away from that milestone.
Dang.
So Adams will
Did you
likely
say
hit it this year. The other ones are quite far away. I guess not that far away. 384 or 684 for Brandon Cooks. Dave in the chat with Hilton and then getting it. Let's go. Nice job, guys. We got some people in the BSN chat here hanging out with us as well. We got Monday Night Rants in here. Jared says, I'm skipping Tears of the Kingdom for this. What's up, Jared? And Better Boss in the chat. Welcome in, Better Boss. Well, we got our next question on here, guys.
Oh man.
Oh, you're trying to get me to do math.
I am trying to get you to do math because here's your question. Including the postseason, how many total NFL games will be played in the 2023-2024 NFL season? And that is regular season plus postseason. No preseason or exhibition or anything like that.
I don't know.
Also, we got Bob Harris joining us in the chat saying, I'm sore from racing Scott Fish this morning. Who won? Joey, who do you think won in a race? Bob Harris or Scott Fish?
Oh no, I didn't get it at a time.
No!
I can only assume Scott's foot is broken, so probably Bob.
Unless it was a one.
I was doing math on a piece of paper.
Well, damn, Joey, you should have done your math faster. The correct answer to this one, Tim, do you think you know it?
No.
Tim said, I'm not doing the math. It was 285. 285 is the correct answer to that.
I figured it was going to be odd, so I was like, yeah, that seems like a lot.
There are 13 postseason games and 285 minus 13 regular season games.
Know what's going on with Scott Fish and Bob Harris?
Bob Harris beat Scott Fish in a race this morning.
Oh, so where was the race? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you.
The race was to the Waffle House to get the free waffles that every Waffle House is giving out this morning.
Were they really doing that?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're too late now.
Dunkin' Donuts giving out a free donut last week, and I didn't know. And I went in to get a coffee, which always makes me get the tummy trembles. And we got a free donut.
All right, guys. Well, the next question is up. Dame so far is the highest score that we've heard from anyone in the chat at 50. Let us know if you've got a higher score. Your next question is, DJ Moore led the Carolina Panthers in targets last season with 118. Which player had the second most targets for the Panthers with 43? Was it Christian McCaffrey, Laviska Shenault, Terrace Marshall Jr., or Tommy Tremble?
This is disgusting.
Absurd, isn't it?
Freaking disgusting. I don't know.
Just insane.
And somehow the Bears threw less than that.
Right?
It's crazy.
And the Falcons. Somehow multiple teams threw less than that. Also, there is a typo in this. It's actually with 47, not with 43. My apologies.
Oh, that changes everything.
It's with 47, not with 43.
I'm blaming you if I get this wrong. Sorry,
Well,
when I get this wrong.
The correct answer is Terrace Marshall Jr. If you said Terrace Marshall Jr., you would be absolutely correct.
Did not say that.
47 targets. Christian McCaffrey was next with 43. And then Shi Smith was next after that with 41. Jeez. Then Laviska Shenault, then Tommy Tremble, and Ian Thomas and Chosen Anderson all in a big lump right there.
Wow.
I saw somebody was putting out those like, who are the best wide receiver trios in the league? And Chosen Anderson's name was on there. And I was like, one of these names does not belong.
Robbie or Laviska Shenault, Adam Thielen, and Terrace Marshall, the top wide receiver trio in the NFL.
I literally just saw the
Wouldn't that be great
receivers
for
on
Bryce
that
Young?
list. I just saw the receivers on that list and I forgot them all already. Like
Every
really,
single one of them.
Thielen and Visca, and who else is there? Like,
Because here's your next question. Only one division in the NFL ended the season with 3 players inside the top 10 in rushing yards. Which division was it? The NFC East, the NFC North, the AFC South, or the AFC West? So if you look at a list of the top 10 players in rushing yards, there's only one division that had 3 players finish inside the top 10. Which division was it?
Oh, no. Can I go back? Can I go back?
I think it's got to be that, right?
I meant no. Maybe I got it right by default. I don't know because the one that I'm thinking it's not on there. Oh God, it's happening all over again.
It's happening all over again. We're down to 0 seconds. The time is up. Tim, you think you know what it is?
I feel like it has to be the NFC North, but I'm also dumb. So,
Well, Tim, with Saquon Barkley, Miles Sanders, and Justin Fields, it is. Oh wait, no, I said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
The correct answer is the NFC North, Tim, and I just read the wrong names out there. You're 100% correct. It was 2 players in the other division, 3 players from the NFC North. You are absolutely correct.
I clicked on NFC North, but I meant AFC North because I was thinking Najee, Joe Mixon, and who's the third one? Oh, Nick Chubb. I was like, oh yeah, that's it.
They're not even
That's
on
not
this
correct,
one.
folks.
They are not on that list. Toronto Dave down here saying it was the script. Indeed, it was the script. Sorry about that. I completely forgot for a moment there while looking at the teams. I was like, I'll just read the names off. What teams were in what division? Fully blanked from my head for a solid 15 seconds there. All of a sudden, Green Bay and New Orleans were in the same division as I was looking at the list. Well, guys, the next question will be up here shortly. That was question number 9 to our Dungeons and Dragons question. So one more football question, then we'll hit our Dungeons and Dragons X football questions, at which point we will move on to our last 10, which are more football questions.
So if I were wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons, how easy is it to pick up to play?
If you have someone who's you get an experienced DM to guide you, it's super easy. They'll tell you exactly what you need to do as long as you're willing to play along. Then you're good to go pretty much.
There's a pizza place I go to all the time, and this dude casually told me that he's been a DM for like 15 years. I'm like, I'm going to try and get some free pizza and that.
Heck yeah. Well,
Like
guys,
questions.
Here's your next question. According to the most recent Fantasy Alarm Fantasy Football ADP report, which of the following wide receivers is currently being drafted earliest? Is it Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Chris Olave, or Deebo Samuel?
I hope our good friends at Fantasy Alarm are in step with Sleeper.
Oops.
I hope so too. Well, guys, 0 seconds left. They do take into account multiple ADPs on that Fantasy Alarm ADP report. The correct answer to this question is Chris Olave.
Yeah,
Chris Olave is the highest drafted wide receiver out of that bunch. If you said Chris Olave, you are going to get 10 points for that one. Everyone, throw your answers in the chat. Let us know what you got. Also, Mr. Scampers, I see in the BSN chat saying CMC had 33 targets. I demand points for picking him. Yeah, that was a typo. 43 versus 47. You'll get some moral points for that one, Mr. Scampers.
Simon,
Joey, are
of
you
those
in on
wide
Chris
receivers.
Olave this year?
I was just about to. Yeah, I am. It is one of those wide receiver duos where I would rather have where Michael Thomas is going at value wise than I would Olave. Although those reports about Michael Thomas maybe not being ready for the season have kind of shaken me a little bit, but I'm still okay in on Olave.
Well, here's your next question. Your first Dungeons and Dragons question. Which Dungeons and Dragons race, sharing its name with an NFL franchise, are described as humanoid creatures of exceptionally large size? Is it a Packer, a Saint, a Cowboy, or a giant?
I feel like
I know some pretty big Saints. I tell you what.
Yeah, that St. Lawrence was a tall man. That was a big old guy. Tim, I know you're in on Michael Thomas this year. You draft him freaking everywhere. I feel like
I draft him everywhere. I'm never gonna give up.
Maybe it's not that you're in, just that like where he's getting drafted, you can't not draft him.
It's one of those, especially depending on the format of whatever, ESPN versus Sleeper versus MFL. I mean, it's easy to forget about him until you're scraping the barrel and you're like, oh, Michael Thomas, that's fun.
All right. Well, the answer to this question, the humanoid creature of exceptionally large size, is a giant. The New York Giants share a name with a race in Dungeons and Dragons, the giant race. There are different kinds. There are frost giants. There are flame giants. There are cloud giants. But they're all giants, and that's the basic description of them. If you said that, you're going to get points. Joe, you look nervous there for a second.
Because I was wondering, man, is Packer like a thing in Dungeons and Dragons? It's not.
Honestly, if you Google like any object, animal, or thing in the real world, and then D&D, if the official Wizards of the Coast hasn't released a stat block and description for it, some nerd out there has, and you can have stats predetermined for everything. Here's your next question, guys. There were originally only 3 classes in Dungeons and Dragons: Fighting Man, Magic User, and Cleric. How many original NFL teams were there when the AFPA was founded in 1920?
Oh, this is so wrong.
Dude, I
oh,
wasn't
God.
even close to alive then.
This is, and I know I might get pushback on this, but this is, I specifically said when the AFPA was founded in 1920. So that inaugural season, how many teams were there? You got it, Tim?
I have a 25% chance.
Also, how badass are those classes? Fighting Man, Magic User, and Cleric. Cleric just kind of stuck around. The other ones were a little too on the nose.
Is a cleric somebody from the
Tussler.
church?
Yeah, a cleric is like a spiritual healer. It's like in the game, it's like a healer who gets their powers from the divine, usually. Joey, I think you'd be a bard in Dungeons and Dragons.
I would
I
definitely
could
be
see
a
that.
bard.
I think you'd absolutely be a bard. Also, JL said, "Don't say inaugural. Inaugural. What comes after the inaugural one? The second one?
Septennial.
Well, guys, the correct answer to this question was D, 14. There were 14 teams in the first inaugural season of the AFPA, the origins of the NFL. Also, we got JL down here saying total bard. 100% total bard. My first player character I ever played was a bard, but I morphed it a little bit where instead of singing songs, he was telling stand-up jokes. And in order to like cast any of my spells or heals, I had to tell a joke to cast it. It didn't go well. It was a really too complicated of a mechanic to implement for my first time ever playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I just read what a bard is, and okay, I'll agree.
You'll agree? You'll take it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Every party needs a bard. The bard's the most popular guy in the party.
But often the most lonely.
But often the most lonely.
Wow. It's got real here on Pub Trivia, everybody.
It is true. It is true. The bard, they look so happy with their loot. Whenever I think of bard, I just think of Fable 3 and the guy with the loot. That's all I can think of. Like I specifically think of the guy with the loot in Fable 3. All right, well, here is your next question.
You made this up.
The deck of many things can grant the player many things good and bad. So this is straight D&D question. Which of the following is not a possible outcome from the deck? Financial ruin, fingers fall off, time travel, or fight the Grim Reaper. So how this deck works is you would tell the person with it how many cards you would want to draw. You would draw that card and something will happen based on the cards you draw. It is predetermined based on the card. These are all things that can happen except for one.
Can I just
if your fingers fall off?
I would like to say what I think one of these things does. But I have to wait to see the answer. And it'll be more funny if it's wrong, I think.
Well, there's only a couple seconds left. That is the end. No one can get their answers in anymore. The correct answer is Fingers fall off. That is
Damn
not
it.
one of the options from
Come
this
on,
deck.
bro.
Your fingers stay
That
on.
sucks.
So I thought that was real because like, oh, your fingers fall off, therefore you can't roll the die. That's
Yeah.
what I thought that meant.
That just sounds funny.
But that's why I put it in there, Tim. I purposely was aiming for you with that one. The financial ruin. There is one where every single thing you own, period, zero, your wealth, every object, every cent in every bank account disappears immediately upon the drawing of that card. There is a card, some of them good, the time travel card. You draw it and you can just go back and change an event. Or the Grim Reaper one where you just have to fight death himself until either you die or you kill him. And if anybody helps you, death clones himself and they have to fight death.
Come on, boys, we're going in together.
Here's your next question. Which D&D alignment would most accurately describe a player that always follows the NFL rulebook exactly, but tries to injure others within those rules? Would this be chaotic neutral, neutral evil, lawful evil, or chaotic good? Bring that alignment chart in here.
I wasn't allowed to play D&D as a kid
because of
my
Satan?
grandparents. Yeah, my grandparents saw the televangelists that said that Satan will come into your heart because if you play Dungeons and Dragons. So I wasn't allowed to play it.
See, well, Satan can't come into your heart if he already lives in your heart. I
don't remember. I think it was my dad's mom that said I couldn't play. So, yeah. This got a little dark in here, didn't it? Well, sorry.
Look, I had a lot of friends who weren't allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons or Pokemon. Did you have any demon restrictions growing up?
No, I think the lack of restrictions actually was probably a problem.
It invited the demon into your heart.
Yeah. Oops. I mean, you live and you learn, I guess.
But. My only restriction was Ouija boards. That was it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did that myself.
But that's how we talked to my dead grandma, so we were allowed to do that.
All right, well, guys, the correct answer to this one was lawful evil.
Hey,
lawful evil was the correct answer. Lawful being that they follow all of the rules. They stay within the guidelines. They do not deviate from that, but their intentions are evil. So you can predict what they're going to do, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be evil is basically what we got there. Tim, I think you're quintessential chaotic good. You have a heart of gold, but I have no freaking clue what you're doing next.
I don't know. Especially if you get me, I'm not allowed to do anything and roll a die too. Good luck.
All right, well, guys, here is your next question. In 2020, NFL fullback Johnny Stanton formed a Dungeons and Dragons group with players from which NFL team, often called losers anyways? The Browns, the Lions, the Dolphins, or the Texans?
I'm hurt. I'm sad and I'm hurt.
You don't have to be hurt yet. You only have to be hurt if it's the right answer, Tim.
Question hasn't shown up.
Also, Better Boss is saying he's at plus 50.
Better Boss at plus 50. Also, we got Burn Baby Burn saying Joey sounds genuinely sad about not being able to play. Joey, are you not playing?
No, Dungeons and Dragons. I wasn't allowed to play. But Simon is amazing. He's going to send me a starter pack.
I have one in my closet for you.
Yeah,
I have three in my closet right now. There was a board game store closing and they all went on sale. And I thought, I know all my friends want this. So I went and bought it.
We'll put that in your luggage for Canton, Ohio, baby boy.
Let's do it. The very first time I ever played D&D was actually as a DM, which is what Johnny Stanton ended up doing for this team. Time is up. The correct answer to this question was the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns have a long-standing, or did have a standing, Dungeons and Dragons group with players like Johnny Stanton, Myles Garrett, Wyatt Teller was on there as well. And they play Dungeons and Dragons at Myles Garrett's house.
Wow.
Sweet. I've seen a lot of celebrities get like huge, cool D&D tables, like the massive like oak whole tree settings. Yeah, it's so cool.
The one guy that's from True Blood that's married to Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Big, like that big wooden table.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, Joe Buongiorno.
Joe DiGiorno, heir to the DiGiorno fortune, has the world's biggest Dungeons and Dragons table.
He's also a huge pro wrestling fan. He's at a lot of pro wrestling events.
Pro Wrestling, Dungeons and Dragons. And the next question, well, this one's coming your way. Speaking of the Browns playing D&D, Myles Garrett often hosted the Browns D&D games at his house. What type of character did Garrett play? The name of his character was Garrett the Great. Was it A, a half-elf rogue assassin, B, a forest gnome bard, C, a human drunken master monk, or D, a half-orc druid? That should pop up on your screen any minute now. So what was Garrett the Great? Was he a half-elf rogue assassin, a forest gnome bard, a human drunken master monk, or a half-orc druid?
I feel like I can. I don't know. I'll be pretty happy with any of these answers, though.
All pretty
Makes
good.
me feel good.
It's hard to come up. I mean, you can come up with a boring combination in D&D if you really want to, but it's hard, man.
Yeah, I tried to be a bird person, but that didn't work.
Tim, I am planning a football-themed Dungeons and Dragons game. Do you know how difficult it is to balance a game when one of the freaking characters can fly? Like just by nature. It is incredibly difficult to balance a game where one character's a bird and no one else is. So either I need to make everyone birds, or Tim can't be, or really
everyone birds.
You know what, Tim? I think there's a different way to resolve this, and you can be a bird. And
can I just be scared of heights?
You can be scared of heights, or maybe you got to travel to the underwater team for your away games.
Can I be a buccaneer bard, like a buccaneer that sings songs? Is that a thing?
You could multi-class as a buccaneer. There's a buccaneer subclass, and then you could add bard as like as a second class, a level or two, to get some of those bard levels. All right, well, guys, this question is over. The correct answer is a half-elf rogue assassin. That's the kind of player that Myles Garrett's out there playing. What did you guys say?
I said the gnome.
I said because I only knew what a bard was, so I was like, yeah, Myles Garrett's kind of jolly.
The Drunken Master Monk is maybe my favorite subclass in D&D. It's just this badass fighter who, again, the movements are as if they're wildly drunken. That's what they're called. It's unpredictable movements. It's Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing.
It's Canton Tim.
It's Canton Tim. It's not like Jackie Chan, Canton Tim. Canton Tim Adventures. All right, guys.
I would watch that. That would be a great show.
That'd be pretty sweet,
especially for children.
Here is your next question, and this one is one of my favorites. The bag of holding is a Dungeons and Dragons item that can hold up to 500 pounds, despite always weighing 15 pounds to the person carrying it. Which combination of two players could fit inside the bag? Is it Justin Herbert and Mo Alley Cox, Rondale Moore and Aaron Donald, Trent Williams and Travis Kelce, or Mark Andrews and Matt Judon? Which set of two players could fit inside the bag of holding? And then you could just carry it around as long as you can lift 15 pounds. This is one of the classic D&D items that DMs give to their players to just avoid any of the trouble of carrying their shit around. Otherwise, it becomes annoying as hell having to deal with encumbrance and all the stuff they have. Just give the party a bag of holding, and then they can carry everything they want up to 500 pounds. And you can carry two of these football players. So only one pair of these football players weighs less than 500 pounds.
I'm still thinking of Joey being a pirate bard, and then me being a bird, and me just being wildly confused. I'm a bard. No, I'm a bird, dude.
Bird.
Bird.
I love birds.
Yeah. You can stand on your shoulder.
Yeah, Tim can stand on my shoulder, and then we can work together. My glasses are fogging up like something crazy.
Joe, Tim's a human-sized bird. Just about.
Human-sized chicken fight. Let's go.
You should be like a halfling buccaneer bard, and then have Tim sit on your shoulder as a full human-sized bird. And that's the way you walk around.
Could we wear a giant overcoat and then try to get into the movies?
You can get into the movies without it, but you do it just for fun.
Sure,
well, the correct answer to this question is one little guy and one big guy. Rondale Moore and Aaron Donald are snuggling up and squeezing into that bag together. It was really Rondale Moore that did it. And Aaron Donald's not as big as you would guess. And that's not saying he's not big. Just I would guess like 340, and he's 284.
3. Ooh. So Rondale Moore is
180.
So what about, how does Herbie and Mo Alley Cox not?
Herbie's like 230 and Mo Alley Cox is like 270, I believe.
wow.
Herbert. Let me look these guys up. Justin Herbert. Wait, I had all these maths earlier. 236 pounds for Justin Herbert.
Wow.
He's a big guy. And then Mo Alley Cox is 270.
Oh,
they barely get over that line.
Yeah.
And these are according to Pro Football Reference. All right, guys. Well, your next question, your next Dungeons and Dragons football question we got coming your way is, Chris Pine plays a lead role in the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves. Which Chris was the lead PPR fantasy point scorer among all Chris's? Was it Chris Olave, Chris Moore, Chris Godwin, or Chris Boswell? There's a typo in the app, but the full question is, which Chris was the lead Chris among fantasy PPR point scorers? Chris Pine plays the lead role in the new D&D movie Honor Among Thieves. Which Chris was the lead PPR fantasy point scorer among Chris's? Olave, Moore, Godwin, or Boswell?
What was your favorite scene in the D&D? Mine was the graveyard scene.
Mine was.
Did that count as one? Not you.
It was the most Monty Python scene in the whole movie. I think that's why I liked it so much. It did feel like something out of Holy Grail.
I liked the walking away on the beach scene.
Oh, that was completely improvised.
I saw that he just didn't hear them say cut, and so he just kept on going. Well, guys, the correct answer to this question is Chris Godwin.
Oh, was it?
Chris Godwin is the correct answer. Tim, you're nodding your head like you got that one. You get it?
I did, yeah.
What are you at score-wise now?
Well, that's going to take me up to a big grand old 30, baby.
Heck yeah.
I've been seesawing.
Also, Better Boss in the chat saying, this is where I get you, Ladarius. Or not, after missing that last question. Also, Burn Baby Burn in the chat on the last one saying, Rondale is probably the smallest one there, even though Donald is huge. And that was absolutely the trick. It's really hard to get to 500 pounds with Rondale Moore as one of the two people. You need a giant person on the other side there. Also, Scott really Fish in here said, I weighed 236 this morning. You and Justin Herbert. Scott Fish is Justin Herbert confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Also, Mr. Scamper saying, crushing it with +0. Hey, stay in the positive. Our current leader is Dame Overboard with 110 points. So that is what you're trying to catch. Dame with 110. Also, Scott wants to know, wait, is this on app tonight? This is. If you're just joining us now, join in on the Better Sports Network app. You can download it in the App Store. You just play along. It's free. The questions will pop up on your screen. You'll click the Pub Trivia icon in the app, and you can play along with us. Here is our next question. According to Dungeons & Dragons statistics, which of the following NFL teams has the strongest mascot? The Bears, the Lions, the Panthers, or the Rams? So this is based on their strength score in Dungeons & Dragons. I will say for Ram, I took the creative liberty of taking Bighorn Sheep in Dungeons & Dragons and applying that strength score because they don't.
Bit of a stretch there, Simon.
Bit of a stretch. I know. I stretched it a little bit there, but I thought Bighorn Sheep was close enough to Ram that I could make it fly.
I just feel like that's the right answer.
So Bears, Lions, Panthers, or Rams, which one has the highest strength score in Dungeons & Dragons?
No, wait. What kind of bears are we talking about?
Brown bear is the bear that is defined in D&D. It's the one I used as a reference.
Okay. All right.
There are different kinds of bears. That was a great question, Joey.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of bear?
Grizzly. It's the only one I've seen in the wild when I worked at Glacier National Park.
Well, that's terrifying. That's the terrifying kind of bear to have seen in the wild.
God.
Yep. I was from like 50 yards away, and it was.
That's too.
It wasn't
close.
a full-grown grizzly, but it was like probably like a 3-year-old grizzly.
When I watch the show alone, I think
very large.
I can be tired, I can be sad, I can be hungry, I can be cold, but the second I see a bear, I'm gone. No, like know what I mean? Like I could sit there fully depressed and starving for 3 months, I think. But if you put a bear next to me, I can't handle that fear. I can't handle the fear of a bear nearby. I'm out of there, man.
If it's almost spells fear in bear.
Well, guys, the correct answer with a strength score of 19 and very scary is the Chicago Bears. They are the strongest of these 4 animals according to Dungeons and Dragons. The Lions and Rams aren't far behind them.
I'm going to Rocky Mountain National Park this summer, and all I want to see is a
moose?
ram, a bighorn sheep. That's all I want to see.
Ram.
So
I'm still
I've never
hunting
seen
for
one
a
in the
moose.
wild.
2 moose are too big.
I saw 2 last year.
No way. So that's why you're on to ram, because you already saw the moose.
I saw the moose.
See, I'm still stuck on moose.
Yeah.
How is that below? Whatever.
Well, it's like I've already seen it, so I want to.
Tim, have you seen a moose?
I have. I almost got squished by a moose.
You said you almost got squished by a moose?
Yeah, in New Hampshire, we're driving our car down a hill. It was really dark, and then all of a sudden, at the bottom of the hill was a full-grown moose. And
What was he driving?
He was driving a really big truck.
Well, guys, here's your last Dungeons and Dragons question. Which Packer did SB Nation recently compare to a D&D sorcerer due to his magic being innate and not learned? So they took all of the Dungeons and Dragons classes and paired a Packer with them. Christian Watson was chosen because in Dungeons and Dragons, a sorcerer has innate magical ability, whereas a wizard studies and learns his magic.
Nerd.
So they're saying that whoever this player is, I totally just said part of it, but the options are Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, Jordan Love, and AJ Dillon. And if you were listening closely, you know it. 1 second.
And he explained it step by step to him.
I needed the points.
I hope he's not mad. This is hilarious.
This has been your Better Sports Network free question of the night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Here are your free 10 points for playing along on Better Sportscast.
Oh, I
Pub
didn't
Trivia.
answer it. No, I didn't.
Well, the correct answer is Christian Watson. Christian Watson is the correct answer to that one. He's got all the talent in the world, but it's natural talent. He's just got to remember and learn how to unlock it. Also, Scamper said, "I'm positive now. Thanks, Simon." Yeah, I got you guys. I'm gonna try not to do that again for the rest. Woo! All right, guys. Well, we're moving on to our next batch of questions. We're back in the football world, out of Dungeons and Dragons. Here is question number 21 coming your way. All of the following, except for one, are real defunct NFL teams. Which of the following was never a real team? Was it A, the Dayton Triangles, B, the Staten Island Stapletons, C, the Burlington Browncoats, or D, the Detroit Wolverines? Only one of these teams was never actually an NFL team. The other 3 were.
I feel like you said one of these recently. And
one of these I do say semi-regularly.
That doesn't help, does it?
So Dame over here said, "I am rolling." I'm glad I could provide that for I'm so bad at surprises, guys. It's amazing I don't do that more often on here. The amount of times I actively try to talk around something and then just say it out loud is really high. Joe, you think you got this one? You studied up on your original NFL teams?
Well, last week I was doing original cities for Jeopardy, or was that this week? I don't know. It's one of these weeks I did that. And one of these seems like it's off a little bit, but I don't know. These are all very good. I'm thinking might have included the city with the wrong mascot.
Well, the time is up. The correct answer, meaning the only one that is wrong, is the Burlington Browncoats. That is incorrect. I just picked off the Burlington Coat Factory and made a team name out of it. The other 3 are all real. The Staten Island Stapletons, the Dayton Triangles, and the Detroit Wolverines.
I thought Burlington had a team.
Burlington did not have a team. And I just opened up a map, typed in Boston, looked for a city nearby, thought Burlington Coat Factory, and here we are. and Joey got it wrong, and Tim got it right.
Yeah, I didn't think of any of that stuff, Simon. I was just like, eh. He said triangles a lot. So.
I'm at 0.
Joey's at 0. Tim, what are you at?
I'm at 60.
Oh,
Good,
watch out. Second and third place. Tim's coming for you.
Third's my spot.
All right, guys. Well, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook,
Yes,
which
finally.
coach is currently favored to win AP NFL Coach of the Year at plus 1,000? Is it A, Dan Campbell, B, Doug Peterson, C, Brian Dable, or D, Mike Tomlin? The favorite to win AP NFL Coach of the Year at plus 1,000. While we're waiting for you guys to get your answers in on that, I want to remind everybody you can get up to $1,000 no sweat first bet by using fantasyalarm.com/FanDuel. All you got to do is join the FanDuel Sportsbook through that link, deposit $10 or more, place your first bet up to $1,000 and get $1,000 in bonus bets back up to that if you lose. So that's at fantasyalarm.com/FanDuel. We got 4 names here. You guys, you feeling confident?
No.
I'll take that as a resounding yes.
I feel like I picked the right answer, narrative wise.
Which honestly, if you're going narrative wise, a lot of times sports betting odds follow narrative because they are looking at what the public's putting their money on, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to change based on where the money goes. Well, the time is up here. The correct answer is our favorite coach to have as an answer, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is currently the betting odds favorite to be Coach of the Year.
Good for him.
Let's see. Who was next on that list? I have it pulled up over here. Sean Payton was second on the list at plus 1,200, tied with Matt Eberflus. And then DeMeco Ryans was next at plus 1,700. Robert Saleh, Matt LaFleur, and Arthur Smith all next at plus 1,800.
Colts coach isn't in there.
Interesting. Then Pete Carroll, Brandon Staley, Mike McDaniel, Doug Peterson, all at plus 2,000. That's like your top 10-ish.
I'll take it.
All right. Well, your next question coming your way. Which state is the only state to have hosted more than one of the last 5 Super Bowls? Is it A, California, B, Arizona, C, Georgia, or D, Florida? So only one state has hosted more than one of the last 5 Super Bowls. Which one was it?
Oh, dude, how can I not remember this?
A, California, B, Arizona, C, Georgia, D, Florida.
I mean, it's
count. You got to get. Isn't it amazing how quickly this information leaves your brain?
Just
gone. It all just starts getting jumbled together. I was talking to someone the other day about how, like, I used to watch Jeopardy with my dad growing up, and he would say things to me like, "Man, I just can't go as fast as you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "If you give me 10 more seconds, I think I could beat you at this game, but I need 10 more seconds." And the other day, I remember thinking for the first time, I get it, Dad. I understand needing the 10 more seconds. I understand it's not just coming up quickly all of a sudden. All right. Well, we are out of time on that one. The correct answer is Joey's home state and Tim's former home, Florida. Florida is the correct answer. There was one in Miami and one in Tampa Bay in the last 5 years.
You stupid Dumbo.
You forget about Tampa Bay?
I forgot about Tampa Bay. Shoot.
Damn it. Well, there goes Florida. Getting that one right. If you got that right, you're going to get 10 more points. Your next question is up. Former Saints quarterback Drew Brees loved playing a sport besides football. In what sport was Brees offered a scholarship to Northwestern State University? Was it golf, lacrosse, tennis, or swimming? Again, that is former Saints quarterback Drew Brees loved playing a sport besides football. In what sport was Brees offered a scholarship to Northwestern State University? Golf, lacrosse, tennis, or swimming? Can't you see him competing in each and every one of these sports?
I can't.
Like you can just picture it. You can see him. I guess you're lucky then. I can vividly picture him swimming in a Speedo.
See, I feel like I would have heard about one of these because there's another pro football player that's talked about as a very good one, and Drew Brees' name's never mentioned with him.
Tim, you know this one?
No, and especially with Joey saying that makes me feel less confident.
Well, I did put a little clue in the question for you.
Oh,
Drew Brees loved playing a sport
you
besides football.
stupid.
It is tennis. Drew Brees is a highly
that's what I said.
competitive tennis player. Got a full scholarship offer to Northwestern State University, and Andy Roddick even said Drew Brees once beat him one time in a match.
Really?
That they
That's
played
pretty
together
cool.
and Drew Brees won. So apparently he was very good at tennis, not just kind of good.
I wanted to go golf, but like Romo's a really good golfer, and I feel like you would have heard about Breeze and Romo competing in golf.
Yeah.
And it just you never heard that. So I went tennis.
Scott Fish said, I can only picture him playing lacrosse. Yeah, I thought that was the perfect sport to include for Drew Brees in there. Just running around, flipping his hair, what's left of it. You guys ready for the next question?
I think so.
Here we go. Which former Denver Broncos QB was the first player in NCAA history to record 20 passing touchdowns and 20 rushing touchdowns in the same season? A, Peyton Manning, B, Tim Tebow, C, Jay Cutler, or D, Drew Lock?
Damn it. You put, I hate when you put players that my heart wants to go with.
Former Denver Broncos quarterback was the first player in NCAA history to record 20 passing touchdowns, 20 rushing touchdowns in the same season. Manning, Tebow, Jay Cuddy, or Locke? Who is it?
Man, it can't be right.
You guys got about 15 seconds to get your answers in.
No, I gotta do it. Oh man, I'm just throwing away 10 points. Smoking Jay Cutler, baby.
Ribbon six outside of Denny's.
Oh yeah.
Tony Romo and Jay Cuddy, ripping six. Well, guys, the correct answer to this question was Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is the correct answer. He was the first player in NCAA history in 2007 to get 20 rushing touchdowns and 20 passing touchdowns in the same season. Our current leader after that one is Dame Leaderboard, and Ladarius tied for the lead with 90 points. So sitting up there at 90 apiece. We're going to move on to our next question here as we're approaching the end of this game. Which of the following is not listed as an official nickname for Tom Brady on ProFootballReference.com? Is it A, the Pharaoh, B, Tom Terrific, C, Sir, or D, the Doctor? Which one of these is not listed on ProFootballReference.com as an official nickname for Tom Brady? The Pharaoh, Tom Terrific, Sir, or the Doctor?
Is this just a URL that he owns where he's like, I'm testing out nicknames?
Just throwing them up and seeing what sticks.
My favorite one on here is Sir. Sir.
You know, like if that came around by them just like asking a rookie, what do you call Tom Brady? And he was just like, I just call him Sir.
Oh,
right down, Sir.
Tom Brady absolutely makes his kids call him Sir.
100%. See, I grew up in Georgia. My parents didn't, but all my friends' parents, like that was a thing. If I didn't, I was called rude. And now I get called rude whenever I do call people that. They get offended whenever I do. Well, the correct answer to this one was not Sir. It was the Doctor. The Pharaoh, yes. Tom Terrific, and Sir are all listed as official nicknames for Tom Brady. We're going to move on.
The Pharaoh.
Right? Well, guys, here is our next question. We've got one more after this. Your next question is 4 of the top 10 players in receiving yards came from the same division that sent 3 teams to the playoffs. Which division was it? 4 of the top 10 players in receiving yards came from the same division. Which division that sent 3 teams to the playoffs was it? Was it the AFC East, the NFC North, the AFC West, or the NFC East?
What was it? Top 10?
Top 10. So they have 4 of the top 10 are all in the same division.
I think I can name them too.
Oh, no, I can't.
You think you can name them?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see if you can do it. You got there's 20 seconds left for people getting these questions in. Bob Harris in the chat saying no FSGA for me, but he's going to be in Canton. So we'll have Bob Harris in Canton.
Bob, yes.
Nice, for the FF Expo. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We got one more question left after this. We'll be back every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time for some more fantasy football pub trivia BettorCast. So come and hang out with us. The timer for this one is up, and the correct answer is The NFC East. The NFC East is the correct answer. The 4 players are, in case you're wondering, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Devonta Smith, and Terry McLaurin, sitting at number 10, are your 4 players from the NFC East inside the top 10. Joey, what did you think it was?
AFC East. And I
They
thought
only
it
had
was
2
Diggs,
teams.
Waddle, Hill.
It had to have
And then
3
I thought
teams
you
in the
said 3
playoffs.
people. Yeah. Oh, the playoff thing. I missed that.
Hill, Diggs,
Oh,
Waddle
boy.
was the last one, Joey?
Diggs, Waddle, Hill, I thought were all top 10.
Gotcha. All right. Well, guys, we're going to move into our last question here.
Is it worth extra? Do we know?
One more question. No, I think this one's going to be worth the same amount as all of the others. We've got one more question coming your way. Which of the following receivers ran the highest percentage of their routes from the slot last season? Was it A, Hunter Renfrow, B, Christian Kirk, C, Curtis Samuel, or D, Juju Smith-Schuster? That is A, Hunter Renfrow, B, Christian Kirk, C, Curtis Samuel, and D, Juju Smith-Schuster. And if you had read the fantasy football analysis of NFL slot receivers by Andrew Cooper on Fantasy Alarm, you may know the answer to this one. But if you haven't, go ahead and answer it and then check that out. He breaks down what to do with fantasy football slot wide receivers in this upcoming season, where you're looking for value, what names to look out for, and what they mean for fantasy football.
I mean, he breaks it down. He definitely has his hat on backwards.
100%. He does not break anything down with his hat on forwards.
He's like Ash Ketchum. Just turn it around.
Just turn it around. Well, you guys got 5 seconds left in this one. I see Victor down here saying, later, bro, chachos. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you tomorrow, Victor. Well, the time is up on that one. The answer to your last question, leading all receivers in percentage of slots from the snap, is Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Hunter Renfrow, running 86% of his routes from the slot last season.
Plays in Vegas and he's the slot machine, dude.
I made a comeback.
What was your final score, Joey?
50.
50. Nice. Tim, what did you end with?
30. I had a slide.
Oh. All right. And I just got my results and I answered 0 questions, 0 correct, ended with 0.
Solid.
That's just because I had it open. Well, guys, it was neck and neck down to the very end. Our second place for tonight. You know what? We're going to reveal the winner. The champion of tonight's BettorCast Pub Trivia, Dungeons & Dragons style, is Dame Overboard, unseating Ladarius Brown for the first time. Congratulations, Dame. With a score of 100 to Ladarius's 90, you're coming out on top as the queen of the Better Network Trivia, at least for 1 week. We'll see if you can hold on to it next week. Joey, what are you pulling out over there?
Next week, Jurassic Park Trivia for the 30th anniversary.
Woo! Craig, get your big boy pants on because we're doing some Jurassic Park trivia. Guys, that is going to be it for us today. Coming up right after this is Monday Night Rants with our friend Edward Rouse. Make sure you check in for that here on Better Sports Network. And then we'll be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for more of the Fantasy Football Game Show. Until then, adios, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night, and we'll see you on another time.
Bye, everybody.